Okay, let's watch Ninja talking about taxes on $50 million.
You know, guys, just the other day we had a great video here. Tim the Tatman had a little bit of a rant on Ninja's Mixer sellout, what it did for the scene, and people hating on him for that move when they don't really hate on Shroud, or, you know, they don't really realize what he did for the scene. Now we talk about maybe a particular moment that would be maybe some of the reason as to why people don't have the best of eyes towards a guy like Ninja. Now, if you guys know me, you know I'm a fan of Ninja. I've been called Nurse Kisser of a lot of streamers and creators out there. I enjoy a lot of creators out there, Ninja being one of them. He took to his debut stream, which was a very, very lengthy stream, and started talking about paying taxes. He used the figure 50 million. I would say with his Mixer payout and other deals he has had, probably likely close to what he did pull in this past year or so. He talks about paying taxes on that 50 million and how unfair it is. He even starts out by saying people are probably going to hate him for saying this, and then he talks about it, and at the very end, if you guys listen to the very end of this clip, even Jess, his wife and manager, is chiming in and asking him to stop. I think it's interesting to hear one of the wealthiest people in gaming talking about paying taxes and not being very happy about doing so.
But you know, when I was 18, I mean, dude, I didn't even know how to do my taxes when I graduated high school, man. Let alone understand how much money I have to pay in taxes at this point now. I don't think people will understand, and this is like, I mean, this might sound, I mean, people are going to take this the wrong way, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. I understand that having money pretty much is the number one comment people are gonna say about what I'm about to say. Well, at least you have money. Do you know how much it blows if you make, let's say, $50 million, that 25 million of that literally gone in taxes? If you're not, you know, smuggling it out of the country in freaking bank accounts.
Man, Hasan.
Poop.
I really want people to try to actually picture working your ass off for a shitload of money. Let's just say, let's just keep using 50 million, because I think that's a pretty solid number.
You know, because most people that pay their taxes don't work their fucking asses off. So I'm glad that Ninja needs people to picture how hard it is to work their asses off.
Right? And then the government is just like, hey, we're going to take 25 million of that. State and federal, right? If someone would have told me in high school or in middle school, hey, the money that you're going to make for the rest of your life, half of that, if you make a certain amount, is gone. And it's going to go into what, you know, your elected officials are going to, you know, allocate the funds to. So if you stay educated and vote for people who are going to do the things that you like, then, like, you know, you'll be pretty happy, right? But that was not the case. Holy shit, man. So yeah. Tax the rich more. Mega lol. But let me tell you what the issue is. I don't think the issue is taxing the rich more. I think we have to find the people who are, you know, the billionaires and the millionaires and the companies that are illegally not paying taxes and or evading / hiding taxes. Because if, imagine, like, you don't, like, why tax someone 1% more when you can just go out of your way a little bit more to find the people who are hiding the money that they need to pay taxes on? You know what I'm saying? But right? Like, instead of like, because dude, like, I'm one of the, like, the 1% of the wealth. I'm paying my shit. I'm paying again, we're going back to the 50 mil. I'm paying my 25 mil. The company who makes a 500 million or a billion or 10 billion and they don't pay shit because they know how to,
like, what fucking what makes me upset about this is like the first part of the fucking tag is insane. Like, but even in America, it's like it's hard to criticize that take in America when people say like, well, where the fuck is that money going? Because it sucks because our government doesn't really fucking spend that money wisely. But if you understand how things work, you understand that like, of course you have to fucking pay that because of course, of course you have to pay that. Otherwise, how are you going to fund social safety nets that people desperately need to make this country better overall? But then, like, half the time, it literally goes into some fucking missile program. You know what I mean? That's going to yeet away. That's going to erase a fucking, like, school bus full of kids in Yemen. Great. Which sucks. But even a small fraction of that going to roads and building infrastructure, still money well spent overall. Schools, money well spent overall. That's just, it is what it is. But that's the reality. The second part of his take is absolutely correct. Why the fuck are billionaires evading taxes? Why the fuck are they not paying at all? Like, it's nuts. Absolutely nuts. But we should raise taxes on the wealthy. Like, if you're making $50 million a year, dude, like, if you're making $50 million a year, like, how are you going to complain that half of that is going to the government? Like, what are you trying to do with it? It's not like you're using the fucking income. It's not like you're, like, you've already spent a big chunk of that on rebuilding your business, which is deductible, and it's not taxed. You've already put a bunch of it back into your, like, you already put a bunch of it back into your fucking, like, to increasing your capital. And then the rest of it, you're not doing shit with that. So what do you want? Like, why do you want to fucking keep it in your pocket? Let that shit recirculate. Let that shit build roads. Like, it's nuts to me. Couldn't Ninja literally just donate to charity the amount of money he pays in taxes and write it off? I fucking hate that shit too. That entire system is so fundamentally flawed, so broken. I hate it. Why do people listen to Ninja? Can you imagine getting political commentary? Well, I mean, he's just... I don't think there's a problem with him saying his feelings about this. Most people wouldn't even admit this shit. They have the wherewithal to be like, this is bad because it looks bad, especially when you're in the middle of a fucking pandemic where, like, people are suffering. Like, complaining about how you only brought in $25 million after half of that was taxed is... You know, I don't even think that that's what happened, but... You talking about having a problem with the charity system as a whole, or yeah, I hate the way that charity works. I really do. It's just like it's a tax shelter, it's a tax write-off for the most part. We don't have a good way of figuring out where all that fucking money goes to. There's just so many different problems. It also creates this like narrative that we shouldn't be giving it to the government. We should be like figuring out our own, like figuring out in a way with extra steps how that money gets spent. Like, no, that money should go to the fucking government. So the government redistributes those resources to areas of need. There should be no need for charities. Ninja literally took 50 bags of fucking 50 bags to fucking stream on another website for 9 months and get made the butt of jokes for a year or two. You shouldn't be crying. You only got 25 bags. That's true. Like, I mean, it's smart. It's a smart decision. He was able to capitalize on it. But he has a good point, though. He has to pay 50% of his earnings to tax when billionaires don't. He's rich, but not rich enough to evade tax. No, he's rich enough to evade tax. But if billionaires pay tax, then his tax percentage will be lower. He's still a worker in comparison to Bezos. Absolutely. He is. Just like I am. He is. 100%. So I do get the second part of what he's saying. The second part of what he's saying is absolutely correct. But what I'm simply stating is when you're in the fucking tens of millions range, complaining about your fucking complaining about half your shit getting slashed it gets to be really silly.
His name is Hasan.
And to say, come on, bro, just find tax shelters forehead is also dumb because he's literally not doing that. He's playing the game correctly and not engaging in like tax shelters and shit like that. So just use a tax haven forehead is also fucked up. So net worth is not the same as income. Oh my God, shut up. For someone like Ninja, his income is his net worth, dude. Like, it's not like he fucking owns a brand or a stock, or it's not like he owns a company that is like being publicly traded. How many assets does fucking Ninja have, dude? I mean, I'm sure he does. He does have a fucking brand and shit, but it's not the same as like Amazon, or it's not the same as like a fucking financial institution. Ninja is literally a brand. Bad take central past 10 minutes. The wealth people aren't doing anything with. You should have bought a good quality air purifier and not went with Honeywell. Didn't he buy a bank to buy some kid's house destroyed after a Fortnite game? Okay, that's what he said. Did you see Pokemon's V2 avatar? I did. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's finish this.
Freaking, they have the web of. I'm just saying. If you get those guys, if you just make sure that they pay it, you don't have to raise me. Anyways, my wife's FaceTiming me, and I love it. Yes, I'm done. She's literally. It's Tyler. Stop, Tyler. I feel like Shane Dawson when he was on Instagram Live. Get off.
And this is, man, this is tough. This is where the job gets tough, guys, because I talk about so many people that I am fans of, and sometimes it's not in the best of light. I just, I wonder why you do this on your first stream back. Literally months ago, people found out you got paid out for a multi-year deal in the likes in the realms of $30 million from Mixer. You're making mad money, and even Ninja begins with saying, probably shouldn't be saying this, but he does anyway. It just, it comes off, to me at least, and again, please leave your thoughts and comments down below. Not disingenuous, but it rubs you the wrong way when Ninja has become probably the top paid gamer in the entire world and instantly returns to Twitch, signing another probably, you know, substantial multi-million-dollar deal, and then is complaining about the taxes he is paying. Now, I have tried to understand what shoes he is in. Obviously, I'm not making those figures, right? This past week, we talked about esports pro players and revealing their salaries. Guys, I'll tell you. Maybe I'll tell you my salary one day. It might surprise you guys how little we're getting by. So it's tough to fill the shoes of Ninja when I'm not making that kind of money. Although, I can try and realize his pain if I ever were to make $50 million in a single year and have to see $25 million go to the government. Meanwhile, people are getting away with not paying that. Yes, I would be very frustrated. I like to think I speak from Jessica's shoes, his wife and manager, as we have talked about in the past, where even she knows you just shouldn't say these things in front of an audience of tens of thousands of people who now know you are making a lot of money, and then you're complaining about paying money in taxes. And maybe it's just me, but it seems controversial, and it seems like it should have been avoided in the first place, and it sucks that I got to talk about this at all. I really do enjoy Ninja. I really enjoy his content. He has done so much for the scene out there. There are many moments where I wish he just would not have done that. This is certainly...
Yeah, it's a bad take from optics. He didn't make 50 mil, he made 25 mil. That's how it is. I'm cringing so hard. Fuck you. Yeah, no, it's a terrible take, but it stems from
His name
very
is
legitimate
Hasan.
grievances that most Americans have with the way that their tax dollars are being appropriated. Very legitimate grievances that they have, and also a lack of education on like how they should be spent, or how they are being spent even currently with the horrific distribution of it. So that's literally not his take. What are you saying? But beyond that, the second part of his complaints
This
is
is a deranged
I do it right
pervert.
and I get taxed. I do it right and I get taxed. But all these other people that fucking evade the system, they get away with it. Instead of raising my taxes, why don't they just fucking raise the other people's
This is a
taxes?
deranged
I
pervert.
think that mentality absolutely works if you're under the fucking $1 million a year range. Do you know what I mean? I think that mentality is fine if you're
His
making
name
$250,000
is
a year in annual household income. Like if you're under the fucking 1%, it's not like you're barely getting by. Like, but taxing those people more because those are the only people you can tax is silly. When we should be taking a much stricter stance against people who are routinely
Oh, you're
evading
such a big
tax.
man, Hasan.
Bannet Louvre Hassel Bannet Louvre Bannet Poggers.
If you ask me personally, though, I don't have a problem with getting taxed more. I don't. $250K is insane wealth. Okay, I don't know if you're an adult or not, but like $250,000 in annual household income for $250,000 for someone like myself is a lot of money. Okay, even though I'm living in Los Angeles, it's still a lot of money. $250,000 in annual income if you're living in LA with a fucking family and like 2 kids, that's still a lot of money, but you're not like making ends meet. You're living comfortably, but you're still fucking middle class. Like it's not.
Wet ass P word. Make that pullout game weak.
You're upper middle class. It's not. My dad makes way more and we're in the upper middle class. Lived in Flint my whole life. That kind of money seems crazy to me. Yeah. It completely depends on where you live and what you do as well. Guys, $250,000 a year is middle class if you're living in Los Angeles. Is upper middle class if you're living in Los Angeles. That's not a fucking insane take. Americans are considered middle income if they make 2/3 of the double of the U.S. median household income, or about $45,200 to $135,000 and $600 in 2016. $135,600. Anyone who thinks that $250K for a family of 4 isn't squarely in middle class is a fucking moron. No, no. If you live in fucking Oklahoma and you make $250K a year, you're fucking caked. If you live in Los Angeles and you make $250K a year with a family of 4, you're not fucking caked at all. You're doing well. You're definitely living well. But you're not exactly fucking caked the fuck up. For a lot of people, you are young right now. You sure about raising your taxes? You were freaking out this morning? No, I am. I am sure about it. As long as I can fucking still pay for it. He's only saying that second part so he can justify himself for being a crybaby bitch over a few million in taxes? For sure. For sure. Yes, insane. Yes, it's insane. Do you not know population averages? There's millions in LA on 50K a year with both parents. I live in New Jersey outside of New York, and our household is 250K, and we are poor for our neighborhood. Your class is not relative to where you live. If 250K is doing fine in LA, then LA is full of rich people. Really? So someone making $80,000 a year, a family of four making $80,000 a year in LA is just, that's a rich person. And they should be doing fine. They're actually a part of the rich group of individuals. Is that what you're trying to make? Is that the argument that you're trying to make here? Please tell that to the fucking nurse and the teacher family that barely makes fucking 80K, lives in like some fucking one-bedroom East LA apartment. One-bedroom East LA apartment because, like, you're actually rich. I know you're suffering right now because you grew up in California your entire life. Your neighborhood was fucking gentrified, so you had to move out of it. But everything that you know and your job opportunities are literally there. So you're not gonna fucking, you're not even wealthy enough to be able to move out. But you're rich, actually, because everyone else around you is rich. Tell that to the fucking poor people that live in rich neighborhoods and have to clean their fucking garbage and clean their bathrooms, please. 80K is caked up in Oklahoma. What the fuck, dude? People forget that, like, cost of living is severely different in different parts of this fucking country. Like, what kind of idiotic nonsense is this? What, you think fucking... Move to San Francisco then, dude, if you think cost of living does not adjust. And shelter, which is a necessity for survival, does not immediately skyrocket depending on where you fucking live. And for people who are saying just move out of LA, forehead, why don't you fucking move out of whatever bumfuck part of the country you live in then? Think about that. Why don't you move from one bumfuck part of the country you live in to another bumfuck part of the country? It should be easy, right? Oh, wait, it's not that fucking easy, you Ben Shapiro fucks. Why do you think when you work in a low income, like if you work in Oklahoma, for example, why does your salary immediately skyrocket if you fucking make a lateral move from the same company? Within the same company, you could have the same exact job, but in Oklahoma, you get paid 70K or 80K, but in Los Angeles, you get paid 100K plus. Why do you think that happens? Do you think there's a specific reason? Do you think people are just like, oh, you made it, you're in LA now, we love you more, so here's just like $30,000 extra just for fun, just for the fuck of it? No.
Tired of women.
The top communications official at the Department of Health and Human Services accused career government scientists.
That just started on its own. I make just above 100K being a single adult in LA. I got monthly student loan payments, so that takes away a good chunk of my income. Wish my taxes could somehow adjust to that. I live fine, but in no means I'm living in luxury. I can't move out of LA because the majority of my field is here. Yeah. Dude, I don't get it. Why don't you move to the Appalachian Mountains, dude, where you can live, you can live in you could purchase a house for like fucking 200K or 100K, live there comfortably.
There's some whores in this
Oh,
house. There's some
fuck.
whores in this house.
The job opportunities that you literally worked for your entire life, they don't exist there? Just fucking move anyway, dude. At least you have a house now. If the median household income in LA is 64K, then how is it 250K middle class? $80,000 for an individual, or was it $80,000? I think it's $70,000 for an individual. Making $70,000 a year in Los Angeles is like the bottom for living in a situation where you're not completely fucking burdened and can live normally. That's where I was basing my $250,000 a year in Los Angeles
Chat
off
is
of.
Pepega. He's talking about 250K household income, not individual income.
My dad made 200K a year before he retired. We live in Pasadena, just north of LA. These morons don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're solidly middle class. These
6
chatters are
months
dumb
vlog.
fucks. My friend's family, who's just above the poverty line, gets taxed 60 to 65% of their income. So this ninja thing pisses me off. That's the worst part about this conversation, is that while we're fucking eating away at one another, I make 22K a year in LA and I live fine. That is a lie. There is no way, because I made fucking $21,000 my first year in living in Los Angeles, and I literally lived. I basically fucking ate trash and lived in the kitchen of a fucking frat house. And that was free rent on top of that. So you're 100% lying. There is no way on the planet that like you live in LA and make $22,000 and you're fine. There is no fucking way. Unless you live with your mom or something. Even then, I guess like your mom would pay for your food and stuff. Okay, I'm sorry for doubting you, Hasan. I looked on Zillow for $400,000. You can only get like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment in LA. like I've done that. I've literally had that experience, and I can tell you, it's not. I mean, I enjoyed it because I was young. I didn't give a fuck. But like, yeah, it is less than minimum wage. Yes, it is. I know. Are you confident the government would spend your tax dollars responsibly? If not, why are you comfortable with being taxed more? Because I'm a fucking adult who understands that even if the government is not spending my tax dollars wisely, that doesn't change the reality that the government still is spending my tax dollars on a lot of shit that I deem necessary. Public education, roads, infrastructure, Social Security, Medicare. These are all programs that even if I don't fucking take advantage of it immediately, I know for a fact are still being funded. I wish a larger proportion, I wish less of it would be going to the military and like programs like F-35 and shit like that, which unironically I also pay for my brother's salary in this circumstance. So I'm literally shitting on him. I mean, he makes fucking satellites, so he's even if he is technically a defense contractor, he makes satellites. But still, regardless, like while I wish that taxes were spent on rebuilding this fucking country that is in a state of disrepair, I also understand that no matter what, I can complain about it as much as I want about how my tax dollars get spent. But ultimately, even if fucking 3% of it is being spent on roads and infrastructure and shit, it's still good. It's still a necessity. Anyway. You can't even get a loan for a house if your household income is less than 100K, so you are forced to rent. Either the chatter saying 50K is totally workable, or idiots, or children who have never had to work and have expenses. This is so dumb. I live in multiple places around this country, and 22K a year wouldn't work in any of the 5 states I've lived in. That includes Savannah and North Carolina. That person is 100% lying. The cost of housing is correlated to the quality of living more so than the median income itself. In LA, the median housing cost is 680K, or over 10x the median income. That's horrendous. You could literally have 25 mil for 800 years. 250K is 95th percentile. Upper class is considered between 10 to 20% top earners, putting 250 solidly in upper class. This shit is all made up anyway, but still. That's why I qualified 250K with Los Angeles, okay? It is completely dependent on how much you fucking pay. Or, I mean, how much you have to pay for regular fucking, your regular cost of living.
Before taxes a year and am considered upper middle class. Lol, the US is so freaking expensive. Break your leg and you
For a family of 4, too.
WTF.
Listen to my words. 250K a year, family of 4 in Los Angeles. I said upper middle class for that number. I think it's important to note that the pricing out of urban and suburban areas in basically every metropolitan area, making it harder for everyone who isn't making enough money for their area, regardless of the number of money they make. You could do your job from anywhere. Why live in LA? I like LA. I like Los Angeles. I have a lot of friends that live here. There's a lot of cuties that live here that I could be hanging out with, even though I spend all of my time with fucking children instead, who say that they can survive in Los Angeles making $22,000 a year. You know what I mean? How do cashiers and baristas in LA get by just having like 50 roommates or something? Cashiers and baristas and shit in Los Angeles get by living in like a much further, like super far out of town, as far out as possible, usually in like lower income neighborhoods like East LA and shit, and traveling and spending a fuck ton, an absolute fuck ton of money on just going to and from work to begin with, and still spending a fuckload of money on their rent too. Just moved out to Nevada, bro. Shit's cheaper and it's still relatively close to LA. Also, didn't you say you barely got out anymore? You can move to an upscale neighborhood in Vegas and still be much cheaper in LA. And you won't. No. There's also kids who live with their fucking parents. Some of the baristas. I mean, this is not reflective of like everyone, but like there's a lot of fucking baristas and shit in the service industry in Los Angeles that come from literally wealthy families who are just doing that as a job to pay for additional disposable income while they make it in Los Angeles and shit like that. Do you think it's bad that more women are resorting to OnlyFans to pay for their shit? No, why? It happened again. Please don't move to Nevada because it's getting to become the next LA and it's annoying. What do you mean? I make 15,000 pounds a year in London, so it pisses me off when people say how poor they really are on 115,000 pounds. Whatever. F off. Rent is like 600 PM for a single room if you're lucky. Wait, did you just talk about... Isn't this like fucking... Are you talking about council houses? Or isn't that what it's called? Like public housing? That's what you consider being lucky? Like council estates, council flats? Are you saying, hey, if you're poor, why don't you move to a country that has at least some semblance, or not council, estate houses? Why don't you move to a country that has public housing, like some shit fucking public housing, but still
His name
something?
is Hasan.
It's hard to even save money in LA. Public transport is a joke, and I used to spend around $80K a week on gas, 2 Phillips, before I started working from home. Yeah. Look, if you're in the fucking UK and you're telling me about your poverty, it still sucks for sure. Your salary is going to be much lower too in comparison to like someone in America. But also, you don't have to fucking spend $400,000 out of pocket if you get cancer, okay? And like you also mentioned, low income in SF Bay Area is considered 82 and 120 for a family of 4. Yeah. 80K a week. Goddamn it, Hassan, why won't you just leave your life, family, and friends behind because chat told you to? I don't know what the fuck you people are talking about, but most people here seem to just pull numbers out of their ass. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the median household income from 2014 to 2014 in L.A. was $58,000 in 2018 dollars. Wait, what? Why did you bring? I don't know why this is the number that you chose to go with. How do landlords get away with literally living as parasites all over the tenants? How is this legal? It just is. Oh, 2014 to 2018. Dad makes 120K. There's a family of 6 in the Bay Area. We're barely getting by. I know city planners who work for the city of SF making solid at least 6 figures that commute into SF because of this can account for household size. Are you in the American middle class? Find out with our income calculator. Wait, why is it just Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim? What do we say? 250,000, right? Like this won't even fucking put you in the metro area. This is what I said. Based on your household income and the number of people in your household, you are in the upper income tier along with 17% of adults in the Los Angeles, Beach, Anaheim area. You are in the upper income. Wait, what is this?
His name
Why are you
is
saying
Hasan.
leak? I don't have
Moved to
fucking
my
4 people in my
basement, I will
household. This is
bathe
not
you.
me. Okay, you're right. I mean, I think this methodology is still scuffed, but especially considering that this factors in areas that I mentioned. This factors in areas that I mentioned like East LA and shit like that. This is a gigantic area. For some comparison to a sock dam, I make about 45K yearly and rent is around 500 a month in one of the larger cities in Sweden, but I have no out-of-pocket expenses other than food and stuff I want to buy like games, etc. Think living in a country where you have multiple middle classes? Chatter doesn't understand how extremes work in statistics. The wealthy in LA are so much more massively wealthy than the poor. It's disgusting, Hasanabi, that you do have 4. You have your mom, Murata, and Spaldinga. That's true. I do.